Hey trainers, Alakaham here with some more Pokemon video magic, and in today's video I am, a little late because the Love Cup wrapped up a day or two ago, but I did get some footage of me just kind of trolling around with Mr. Mime, and Mr. Mime is kind of a fun and funny Pokemon, and one that I don't see very often, and I had the opportunity to use it in the Love Cup and thought maybe you would enjoy seeing me kind of use Mr. Mime to take some folks off guard. And surprisingly, I went positive in almost every set with Mr. Mime, so it was pretty fun. It does charge kind of slowly, so I usually put it up front and then switch out to something else, and I had two responses to the things that seem to give the most grief to Mr. Mime, and Crustle is the MVP really for this particular team. Crustle is a hard response to Ariados, and so that one is really the biggest threat to Mr. Mime, right? Okay, so we swapped into the Crustle here, they went into their Electrode, and now I can go ahead and bring in the Mr. Mime to farm down with Confusion, which is what I'm running as the fast move here. I didn't bother to give Mr. Mime an extra charge move because it's not that useful and I'm not going to use it that frequently, so I just did not want to invest the Stardust. But we were able to get a shield there. I swap into Alomomola, which I think I know how to say correctly now, but y'all can tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. And I have baited out an Ariados, which is really good because, again, Mr. Mime does not want anything to do with Ariados. And Psychic from Alomomola does super effective damage. So the opponent wins the lead, and Mr. Mime is just kind of hopping in and sucker punching through that whole game, and we are able to get the opponent to concede the match by having strong backups to that Mr. Mime. So again, it's more or less just kind of there to troll, but it is it's pretty fun. So we've got Mr. Mime into Crustle, which is not a great matchup. I swap into the Alomomola, and they actually spend quite a bit of time building up energy there. So the Crustle banks a move, and then they come in with Ariados. That's okay by me, because we can hit for neutral damage with Waterfall as the fast move, and of course super effective damage with Psychic, because Ariados is a poison type. So I can let these moves through. I'm actually very okay losing the Alomomola here if it comes down to that. I'm either going to win switch or I'm going to get to farm down with the Mr. Mime. And of course we can do super effective damage there with Confusion, but apparently I did not want to bring in Mr. Mime. Okay, yeah. So the kind of logic there was, if they had a counter to Crustle can, tank a move a little bit better than Mr. Mime. And B, if they had a hard counter to Crustle, I was going to want to switch out into Mr. Mime. So we did bait out that counter. Unfortunately, we do get farmed down, but Crustle is able to finish off the Alomomola, and we did save a shield, so things are looking okay here. And yeah, we reached the Rock Slide, which should be doing super effective damage. And yeah, we are able to take out the opposing Crustle. And then, of course, the Ariados was very low, so it just takes one more Rock Throw fast move to take them out. So in that case, Mr. Mime was actually kind of helpful. And as you can see, I was mostly using Mr. Mime to kind of apply pressure to shields. So as long as it gets off a little bit of damage with Confusion and pressures shields, I'm in an okay spot. Okay, we have two Confusion users here, and both of them are doing resisted damage to one another. But the problem with Mr. Mime is that it is super duper glassy. So I've got to be really careful there. And unfortunately, my timing was poor, so they did sneak through another Confusion. And because I committed a shield, that means that they felt comfortable committing a shield and blocking my attack there. So we could have done super effective damage with Shadow Ball, but unfortunately we did not quite get to it fast enough to avoid having to use a shield ourselves. So they bring in an Ariados, and that's fine. Ariados is not a counter to Crustle. I am gonna go ahead and let the Crustle go down though, because I don't want to use up that shield. I can just come in and farm down with super effective confusions from Mr. Mime. So I'll go ahead and take the shield advantage, and it turns out that that worked because I'm able to use my shield to keep the Mr. Mime from going down here, and now we are going to get to see a Shadow Ball land. We do completely annihilate that Slowking, and they bring in a Talonflame, which is perfect because even a Brave Bird is not going to one-shot the very bulky fish thing there, the Alomomola. So Alomomola pulls through, and we take a third win in the game there. Moving into match number 4. We're going to go ahead and run with the same order. So this is all from one set, Mr. Mime into a Slowbro. This is a similar situation as what we had before. Unfortunately, Slowbro still only takes neutral or resisted damage there, and then they're probably going to block the Shadow Ball, which they did. So I bring in what I consider to be a soft response to the Slowbro with Alomomola, hoping that they would switch out, but they actually don't. So my best response here is actually Crustle, because Crustle can hit for super effective with the bug move, which is escaping me now, X-Scissor. But they stay in, so I figure we may as well commit to trying to get rid of this Slowbro, which is being really problematic. And they brief snafu there where my cat snuck in and knocked over all of the equipment going on. So sorry for the interruption to that commentary. We are just going to continue on as best we can. All right, so the more or less the summary here is that Crustle does the best it can to carry the burden of that team on its own, but it is unable to actually secure the game by itself, which is unsurprising. That's difficult for any one Pokemon to do at any time. So here we go with match number 5. We have Mr. Mime into Charizard. This isn't terrible because Psychic does neutral, but they bring in an Electrode. So I go ahead and farm up a little more energy, and then I swap into the Crustle. And Crustle is doing quite a bit of neutral damage here, but so is the Electrode. I really want to win Switch so that I can line up the Alomomola with Charizard. So I go ahead and shield, farm down. I do have a move loaded. Let's see what Pokemon they're going to bring in. I blind through the Rock Slide thinking it would do neutral or super to most Pokemon, but I should have thrown X-Scissor. That's fine, doesn't matter that much because they shielded. So now I can come in with Mr. Mime and go ahead and throw this Shadow Ball because we built up a little extra energy. And I'm very hopeful about being able to land another Shadow Ball. We do have to shield because Slowbro hits pretty hard, and they're able to farm us down, which is like worst case scenario. So now it's going to be up to Alomomola. I mean, we have a lot of play against the Charizard, but man, this Slowbro is chunking with its fast move. Like, it is, that Shadow Confusion was wrecking us. So unfortunately, we go down to Dragon Breaths there because we had to use the charge move to take out the Slowbro. But that's, you know, so it goes. That's all right. So I never got above a three game win on any set, but I did want to include another battle here to just showcase another fun game with a win with the Mr. Mime. So spoiler alert, this one's a win, but I do think it's fun. they swap in an Alomomola to our Crustle, so we are able to go ahead and come in and throw the X-Scissor, and this time I'm using Rock Slide. Not sure why. Maybe I was trying to chunk a little extra damage. But now I can come in with the Mr. Mime, and I might let this go because it's resisted. Yeah, Psychic does not do that much to Mr. Mime. So it's fortunate to have that typing there. They swap in an Electrode, and that was not... this is not great for me because I blind swapped into Alomomola. Should not have done that. So yeah, I guess that one was not a win, but that's fine. This other one should be one of the wins. That one was just a mistake I made, obviously, and not like a problem with the team. That was probably a very winnable match. Okay, so yeah. This is a much more interesting situation here. So this time we hit a Galarian Slowbro instead of a standard Slowbro. And Galarian Slowbro, as part poison, actually takes neutral damage from those confusions. So that was a much better situation to be in. I went ahead and snagged a shield from the Ariados with Mr. Mime. And I'm going to shield once here, put us in the even shield situation so that I can farm down with Crustle and have a move loaded. So yeah, they bring back the Galarian Slowbro, and again, we can hit with the X-Scissor pretty hard there. And we had so much energy built up from completely farming down the Ariados that we do reach another move before they reach their first one. And we are able to land it, so not bad. Unfortunately, we were debuffed by the Ariados, so that's not great. But I can just go ahead and safely farm down with the Mr. Mime here. Of course, Mr. Mime is part Fairy type, so we do not want to get hit with a poison move. But this ends up being kind of scary because I don't have anything that does anything more than resisted damage to Scrafty, so it's going to come down to a la here, having to survive some boosted attacks, right? Because they're just going to go straight power up punch for the first 2 or 3 moves, and then a foul play is going to do lots and lots of damage. Fortunately, before they throw their foul play, we are able to get to the Psychic, which is resisted, but it is enough to take out the opponent, so that's a good game. I hope that you all enjoyed seeing this kind of underused Kanto Pokemon. I understand why it's underused. It's very glassy, even though it has a decent moveset. But it was fun kind of trolling around with Mr. Mime in the Love Cup. I hope that you all are now enjoying the Open Great League and or the Little Jungle Cup. I think that both are pretty fun, and I'll have some videos about those leagues here very soon. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a like. And if you're not subscribed yet, I would love to have you as part of my community on this YouTube page. I'll bring you more content soon. Until next time, trainers.